Hey, good morning, everyone. Hope you guys had a great long weekend. Good holiday. Um, so markets are a little slow here this morning. They're down a little bit. Nasdaq futures are down 16. S&Ps are down 6. Dow is down 67, coming back off of their lows. But I thought we'd start off here by looking at the monthly charts since we are into a new month and taking a step back to see where things are at here. So let's do the left to right. You've got the S&Ps, beautiful uptrend, which has been going on, as you know, since 2009. Disregard the moving averages. These are what I use for daily charts. So really one on the monthly chart I really use is the 20, just as a reference, to the trend, and look at the distance it is from the 20 and so on, as prices above and below. Kind of gives with a little bit of rules, an objective, pretty quick way of doing some analysis. So just looking at what's happened here over the last few years, the S&Ps are about as far, even further than they have been from the 20 on the monthly at any point in time since that 2009. Right? So can we say it's extended? Yeah, yes, we can. It's a little extended historically for what it's been for since 2009, further than it has been, which opens up the possibility of a pullback. And so last month, disregard the little dot that this is what this platform just does at the beginning of the month. It shows that as once it starts trading, obviously it'll start moving. The line in the sand is last month's low. And we've got a month where the open and closing price was the same. So we've had momentum slowing down. So that's how, I look at a candlestick chart, meaning, the names are irrelevant. Just call them whatever they're, shooting stars and haramais and dojis and so on and so forth. All those names kind of interesting when you first start to learn about it. But in reality, all we want to know when we look at a candlestick chart is momentum slowing down, is momentum increasing, or is it reversing? So, and we see here is momentum just slowed down here, and could start to pull back. So we'll see if it can take out last month's low or last month's high, and that's it. One sec, guys. Qs just continued to march higher. And forget the dot. Last month's low is the line in the sand to pay attention to. Can we go higher? And that opens up the possibility of, can it accelerate higher, where you get a climactic kind of move to the upside that would end the move? Because there's another concept that we look at with candles is, are we getting a wide range bar after an extended move? And right now we don't. So with wide range bars, we look at wide range bars such as, are they igniting a move, like right here, and we look for volume to accompany it. So a wide range bar coming out of a consolidation, it ignites a move. Over here, it ignites a move, but neither of these have gone very far. The transports have just chopped sideways. The Russell is kind of grounded to the top up a little bit, and then a lot of sideways action. But we don't have wide range bars yet that end a move where, the majorities have jumped in, and, kind of like jumping over themselves to get on board here. So in these two markets, the transports and the Russell, we've had a lot of sideways consolidations within an uptrend, which was viewed as being bullish unless prices break down below the consolidation. Then that makes it resistance. The S&Ps and the Qs have just continued to push higher. So, will September be the worst month in 2017? Well, we're really going to need to get into September to see, but historically, September is one of the worst months of the year. Everybody remembers October, but September is the month that starts the damage, and it's usually worse than when it is in October. So let's back up and look at the weeklies. And last week, as you know, a lot of stocks came back. The transports and Russell came back from support, pushed nicely up into the resistance, but still well below here. So this, as we look at this, it opens up the question: is it a topping pattern? Will this buying that occurred at support now be able to push it up to new all-time highs, like the Qs did, up at a new all-time high? So from a weekly perspective, you set an alert down at the prior week's low, and that's your first reference point of support on the weekly. And same thing for the spiders here. Can they get through the high, or do they go sideways and break this low here? So what we do as technical traders is constantly monitor the patterns and reference levels of support and resistance in that time frame, and then let the computer monitor those alerts that we set. And as we move down to smaller time frames of our choice to trade, so if I'm looking for core and swing trades, I'm looking at the monthly, the weekly, and the daily. I could refine with the 60. If I'm looking for intraday trades, well, then I'm looking at the daily. Excuse me. And now doing the same analysis. New all-time highs up at resistance. I may want to be a seller up here if I get a bit of a turn. Same with the transports. So the question is, can they get through these resistance areas, or do they stall here? And then, of course, once I form my bias, I then go down to the hourly charts. The hourlies are still in an uptrend, so even though the dailies are at resistance, I'm not ready to short anything yet until the momentum stalls here on the hourlies. And then finally, I would go down to the 5-minute, looking for entry points based on my bias. And we're not going to get into gap trading here this morning, but if I was now going for my gap trading list, I could use even smaller time frames in the first minutes of the trading day. So will September be the worst month of the year? We really don't know yet. Actually, at this time, things look pretty darn good to go higher, but we have our line in the sand that'll tell us if things begin to get worse from our smaller time frames to our upper time frames. So I hope that helps you in September, and we'll talk tomorrow.